Next we have a more pro-level fixture. For guys looking for a really high-end light design here, this is the VisiBeam Hybrid 2R. Now, last year we came out with a 5R beam. This is a 2R, and what that pretty much means, it kind of is comparable to a 250 watt halogen lamp, except it's using a 2R lamp, which only takes up around 100 watts of electricity, so the color, or rather the power demands, is really low with the amount of output you're getting here. You have a nice thin pencil beam, and this is again one of those types of effects that are really, really popular in the EDM and concert cultures out there. And you can bring that look to your events, whether you're a production company or you're doing some really cool Sweet 16s, you want some aerial effects, it really stands out, and it's really, really bright. 16 different colors, different gobos, even UV is in there as well, so you can get some blacklight effect in the as well. There you go, there's a UV. And again, that's the VisiBeam Hybrid 2R. We have a couple strobe lights here that we want to show you. The first is the Freak 16, and we call it the Freak 16 because there are 16 different banks inside the strobe light, and each bank is individually controllable, where you can use your creativity to chase and strobe back and forth. Again, it's a great strobe light, but also it's a great whitewash as a work light. If you need some light to set up your event, if you're setting up in a dark room outside at night, or breaking down in the middle of the night of a festival or a block party, it's really good to help you get some light there and see what you're doing. And it's an awesome strobe light. So that's the Freak 16. Next we have the Freak Matrix Quad. And the Freak Matrix Quad, similar features, 16 different banks there, but the difference here is that rather than just white, we have red, green, and blue in there as well. So you have your multicolored strobe light, color mixing, color palette there. It's a wash light in any color you like, you can mix the colors, and of course, it's an awesome strobe light. And that's the Freak Matrix Quad. We have a couple lasers here. The first one is the Micro Sky. And the Micro Sky is a so small laser. I mean, it's about the size of, I don't know, half of a VHS tape. I mean, it's really, really compact. It's so lightweight, you can put it anywhere, on a speaker stand, on a small truss, a little T-bar, and ideally you want to use this for a liquid sky effect over the crowd. That's really what it's intended for. You can use the projections of the patterns or whatnot on the walls or on the floors, but it's really intended to be a liquid sky effect. So if you have haze in your venue, in your bar, at your parties, this will give you a really cool effect. You have two of them going on here, and again, it gives you that green liquid sky effect over the crowd and over your DJ booth. The next laser here, which I'm really, really excited about, it's brand new, it's on pre-order, which means, or pre-release rather, which means it's only available here at the show. It's the Micro Image RGB. The Micro Image, what you get for $199 is a lot of output from a very small laser. So you can see all the different patterns it's going through, and this is automatic patterns. We're not programming this with any type of DMX or anything. We just literally plugged it into the wall and let it go. It has a couple knobs on the back to change the intensity and the speed of the patterns, but you can pretty much see exactly what it does. So you have your red, green, blue, and white, and all the color combinations that you can get along with that. And for $199, regular price is well over 200 bucks. You get a great laser, and I believe we only have two left, I think, or one box with 2 or 3 of them in there. One case with 4 left. Okay, so it's a really hot item here. Again, it's on pre-release, so it's only available here at the show for $199. Next, we have our Gobo projector here, the Icon. Really, really punchy light here. Uses a really bright LED. It's a 60-watt LED, and right here we're using a glass gobo with multicolors in it, so you can see just how sharp the image is. There's a manual focus on it, and it comes with 3 different lenses, so it allows you to really scale that image to the size of what you want to project, whether it's a monogram for a wedding on the floor, the Sweet 16 girl's name, the bar mitzvah's name on a wall. It really helps your customer stand out, and I know personally for myself, I sell this as an upgrade on my parties for around 150, 175 bucks, and custom gobos are so cheap now. They're maybe $50 depending on where you get them from, so you can get a really good return on your investment with this very quickly, and it's just under 400 bucks at $395. Another effect light we have here today is the H2O DMX Pro. Now the H2O effect is something very popular. It's been around for a long time. We've just updated it now with a little bit of a brighter LED inside there, and it also comes with 2 different lenses, again, so you can scale it to your venue, to your application. a 34-degree lens and a 50-degree lens, widening out that beam, and there's a manual focus on there to really sharpen up that image to give you a nice crisp look. And that's the H2O DMX Pro. Up next we have the Octobeam RGBW, and this is a new version of a classic disco effect. The Octobeam has 8 different pods, almost like a pin spot, if you will.
I like that. That's bad.
You can get really creative with the internal programs, or you can DMX it as well. Color chasing, color changing, and a nice color blast. And you can see the nice tight beam there on the floor where it's not a lot of wash and bleed over. It's just that tight spotlight there coming out of the Octobeam. A couple more effect lights coming up now are the quad phase first. So it's the quad phase HP. The quad phase was released a couple years ago. Now this is the updated version, the HP version. And pretty much all we added here was a white LED, but what that does is it gives you double the amount of beams. So you can see all the beams here on the floor. Looks awesome if you have haze in the air. You can just see the star field coming out of it. And this again is one of those effect lights that are so simple to use. Right now it's plugged in, it's going sound active. You can just plug it in and let it go. And it's an awesome light show right out of the box. No programming required. Next is the fun factor. Now the fun factor, we had it out here last year. We brought it back again this year. It was a really popular effect light because it's a 2-in-1. You have your dual moonflower effect and your white LED strobing. So as you can see on the fixture, you have those 5 different prisms, if you will, projecting the moonflower look. And then you have the 4 white LED banks to give you a white strobe effect. I recommend with this to use the UC3 controller. It's an optional controller, about 30 bucks or so, I think. And it allows you to scroll through the different programs, whether you're strobing the white or color moonflower with the LEDs. We're going to take a look at a couple of the Jelly units. Now the first one you saw before we started the show, Sparky B was showing it to you. It's the Jelly Cosmos ball. A great effect unit. So simple to use. The way it's designed, you can mount a clamp on it, or you can just set it on top of a subwoofer. You can even put it on the floor or tabletop it. Really easy to set up. It's plug and play, and with the Jelly dome or the Jelly housing, you can see the LEDs inside of it. It glows up, so it gives you that eye candy effect along with the effect. And there's a little knob on the back too that allows you to slow down or speed up the rotation, so you can fit the mood whether it's a slow dance or you're picking it up more for a higher energy dance set. The next Jelly item we have is the Jelly Dome. Now the Jelly Dome, very similar to the Cosmos ball. We have it here in the back. The Jelly Dome, again, has that translucent housing. It rotates back and forth. It goes through red, green, blue, and white. And you can control the intensity of it depending on how fast or slow you want it to move. Now by far my most favorite light here at the show, it's definitely a higher end light and it's directly above your heads. But I gotta warn you if you haven't seen it yet, it's very, very bright, very bright. This is the Dots Matrix. Yeah, really, really bright. This is not for your typical everyday small, medium-sized party. This is for production companies, guys doing huge bar mitzvahs, huge weddings, outdoor events, big school proms and school dances. This is what you want to use for that. They're great for crowd blinders. Again, that's a real popular effect in the concert world. It's all LED, and each of those banks there are individually controllable with your red, green, and blue in there to pixel map it. So if you have a cluster of them in any different configuration, you can get really, really creative with it. They take up to 56 DMX channels, so if you're into DMX programming, you can get an awesome, awesome effect with this. This will set you apart from your competitors if you're doing large-scale events. Again, if it's a big, big party, 300-400 people, outdoor festivals or concerts, this is definitely something you want to take a look at and ask more questions about us or about them from us. Now we have a lot of LED lights here, we have a lot of uplights, and one of the biggest questions we get at the